Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dynasty Queens. I am the lovely Pamela Nicole, and we have...
And I am the lovely NiaJ. Hello.
Hello. Well, before we get started with our wonderful episode today, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Social Media Blast Off. Now, if y'all are in the social media game, this is what you need to do. Social Media Blast Off is a service that's going to take that social media platform of yours to the next level. Whether it be you as a music artist, upcoming entrepreneurs, or influencers, go ahead and get on it, socialmedia.blastoff.net. You'll go ahead and scan this QR code right here. Save 30% today on your next purchase. Get into it. So today, guys, we have the lovely Charnette here in Philadelphia that we're going to get to know and go on a little journey with. So welcome, Charnette.
Hi.
Hey there, girl.
Hey,
Hey. Welcome, girl. Yes, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Dynasty Queens.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. So, Charnette, tell us a little bit about yourself, hon.
Well, again, my name is Charnette. I go by Char in the hair world, also known as Char Lock Combs.
Okay.
The name originated because I have locks in my hair, and I was excited. 2 days after I locked my hair, I was like, I need an Instagram name that goes with locks. Like, what do I do?
Yes.
And almost like 10 minutes later, I'm really not that creative, not in that way. Mm-hmm. The name dropped, and Charlotte Combs has been my name ever since, even before I stepped completely into the hair world. So,
wow.
That's really
Love
creative.
it.
I like it, Charlotte.
Yeah. So people know me as Char in the hair world.
Char. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want us to call you Char?
That's fine.
Let's do it,
yeah.
Char.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's fine.
So how many years have you been doing hair?
I've been doing hair full time now for almost 3 years. But hair has been a part of my world since I was a little kid.
Oh, nice.
Barbies, mannequins, you name it,
Right,
beads,
right.
barrettes, the whole nine. So hair has just been something that has just been innately a part of me for a very long time.
That's beautiful.
Recently, well, I don't know if I chime in now with this.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, girl.
Yes.
So more recently, I would say in 2019, I kind of had a shift in like, I don't like what I'm doing. I did social work for a decade.
Oh, wow.
Child welfare and older adult protective services. So I was just helping a lot of abused and neglected people,
Right.
Yes.
thinking that I was going to save the world. And I realized I was kind of damaging myself, like my mental health.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I felt like I was kind of shorting myself and my daughter, my home life.
Gotcha.
And hair just kind of fell in my lap because it was something I always wanted to do. But I stopped for years and started doing social work, went to college, the whole nine. And then from there, once I said, I don't like what I'm doing, I just want to change things. I started telling people at my mother's church, hey, I'll braid your daughter's hair. Just give me $20. I just wanted to kind of get back in the rhythm of things. And I realized, like, girl, you ain't got it like you had it. Your braids is out of pocket. So
Freshen up the skills a little bit, huh?
So I wanted to do like a hair class. And I was just kind of searching on Instagram, and I was seeing things in areas that were too far from me. And randomly, a good friend sent me a hair class. She didn't even know I was looking for a hair class.
Wow.
She sent me a hair class in Philly, hosted by Braids by Nya, who is now a sister of mine. We'll get to that. But the class was $550. The deposit was $150. All I had to my name at the time was $150.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, how am I going to do this? This class fills up, but I need to get into this class. So I just put the deposit down, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And so I sent a text message to family and friends, just letting them know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And that if they wanted to donate, that they could. And if they just wanted to pray for me, they could. And when I tell y'all, my family and friends came through.
I love it.
They came through. They paid for my entire class, $150 deposit included.
Oh, wow.
And from there, the hair class was on a Sunday. And like I said, this class fills up really quickly. My mom called me the morning of the class. What are you doing? You getting ready for the class? Yeah, Mom. Okay, have a good class.
Yeah.
I pull up to the class and I get a call from my stepfather, and he says, "Did you hear about my mom?" So my mom is my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
"Did you hear about my mom? She coded this morning and it's not looking good." And so I'm like, huh? Like, I talked to my mom. She didn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to panic. I don't know what's going on, but I guess I was in shock. I didn't want to like jump to conclusions. I figured I'll just find out what's going on after the class.
Okay.
So I get into the class. It's empty. It's only me and the instructor.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
So I got like one-on-one time with the instructor. Again, braids by Nya. So she didn't shorten the class. She didn't say it's just you. So we're just going to do it a couple hours. We were there for hours. Anything I wanted to know about the business, anything I wanted to know about like perfecting my skills, we were in there grinding.
Right.
And from that day forward, rewind, I leave there. And then I got to call my family like, "Hey, what's going on?" And my mom lets me know that my grandmother was on life support. And so I had to drive to Delaware to go say my goodbyes to her. And when I did, it was like a ton of bricks. I'm like, my grandmother wanted me to do hair.
Right.
She always used to say it. She used to say, "You should do hair. You should do hair." Even as a social worker, "You should do hair. You love it. You always doing it. It's money to be made. It's money to be made." You know?
For sure.
And it was so like hair is just this thing that it's a lot of things for me, but it really resonates as something that my grandmom gave me while she was leaving here.
Yes.
She spoiled me to death. So like there was no life hurdle that I couldn't just say, "My mom, I need help," or write the check. You know, she just fixed the problem. Yeah. So it's just, hair has just been like a true journey for me. It connects with me in a lot of ways. And when my grandmother passed, it made me realize that I have to sustain myself in a different way.
Right.
There's no longer this safety net, you know. I also, I was grieving.
Right.
So through grieving, I had just started a new job. I didn't really have enough leave to take the time that I needed. Okay, so I had 5 days of bereavement, and it wasn't enough time for me, obviously. And I wound up like leaving work early, and I just had to think about like what I could do. And I realized I just took this class that gave me everything I needed to know to run a business.
Of course.
And so I just was like, I'm putting up flyers and telling people to come. So initially I would have people come into my home to get their hair braided. And then the pandemic happened.
Infamous pandemic.
So it was that was like a lot because I didn't really want to go back to work. My lease was ending, and I also like didn't really know if I was ready to full throttle jump back, full throttle into hair.
Right.
And then from there, I wound up staying with family. And people kept calling me, "Are you still doing hair? Are you still doing hair?" Because, you know, all the salons were closed.
Right. Oh,
so
yeah, for
everybody's
sure,
like,
for sure.
I look crazy. People were saying, like, "My husband has never seen me."
Right. Oh,
Please.
my husband hasn't seen me.
Never seen me. Like,
help.
so
my
I'm
hair
kind of like, but then it's like, you can't come where I am. I'm staying with family. So at one point, I did it mobily for a little bit. That was scary because it's a pandemic, but I just kind of put in mind, like, you know what? I did it for social work. I was in and out of people's houses for somebody else. So I'm going to do this for myself. And I did go back to work. I had a good job. And George Floyd passed. George Floyd passed. And when he passed, it just kind of brought to light, like, how corporations are like insensitive. I was working at this good job, but I was also remotely working, and I'm watching the news. And I realized how I had to like pretend like everything was okay when I got on these meetings. But the whole time I'm like, all right, is anybody getting arrested? How does this just happen?
Right, for sure.
And it just kind of made me want to like break away from anything that didn't feel right. I actually wound up being outspoken on one of my meetings, but I think it was, now that I look back, I just think it was just time for me to be my own boss. But it was just a regular debriefing, and they're like, "Hey, Charnette, how you doing today?" You know, and I was like, "Actually, I'm not good at all." And I don't even want to act like I'm good. You guys are watching the news just like me. And I think I kind of put a target on my back. And the higher ups didn't really like that I like ruffled feathers. And my supervisor wound up kind of pulling me into a meeting to say, like, you know, I'm not so sure that your work performance is doing well. And to be honest, I was halfway braiding and halfway working at the same time. It was so much going on, you know, in society. It was very hard for me to like even care. And I had already started stepping foot into my desires. So from there, I had always kept in touch with my teacher, Braids by Name. She hates when I call her my teacher, because at this point we're like sisters. I'd be like, "That's my teacher, that's my teacher." But I always kept in touch with her, always sent her pictures of my work. "What do you think about this?" And just small talk. And it got to the point where I had this meeting with the supervisor, and I'm like, "I don't even want to fix it for you." Like, I didn't say it to her, but I was just like checked out. And I just like, I'm out. And I called Nay, and I'm like, "What is it to be an assistant in a salon?" And I didn't even know what that meant. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what can I do while doing? How do I get my foot in? And she was like, "I don't need an assistant." She was like, "But I have an open chair here." And she said, to be honest, I haven't even promoted it because I don't want the vibe of the shop to change. She said, "But you are the only person of the hundreds of students that she taught prior to, some keep in touch now." She said, "But you are the only one who has kept in touch with me." She said, "If you want, the chair is yours." And I'm like, "Do you think I'm ready? I got like 10 clients." You know what I mean? Like, do you think? And she said, "The only way you'll know is if you open your schedule. Your clients don't know that you're available. You're just doing it when you can." So I was like, okay, open my schedule up. And she did a lot of promo for me and just showing me how to perfect my craft. So I literally got to work beside my teacher. She, if you ever get a chance, look up her page, Braids by Nate Law. Her work is impeccable. People travel from all over to get braids done by her. Half of her clients is from out of state. Okay. So she's like a big deal.
So you had the mentor of all mentors.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I just, because I want to pull in like how like much this means to me, how like it kind of just all fell into place. So yes, so hats off to her. So I got to learn like not just from the class perspective, but hands-on teaching, and it just grew. And then I just recently came out the shop, and I am in a different location, but I'm solo now. And that's bittersweet. It's sweet because it's my own vibe, right? Like, it's whatever I want to do, whatever music I want to listen to, like, it's just us, right? But it's bitter because I love my shop girls and my sisters. I like the camaraderie of the shop.
Of course.
Even being able to bounce ideas off of each other. So that's bittersweet, but I just think it's time to,
just break away.
Spread on
out. I call it growing pains. I think a lot of people have to go through it no matter what the industry or profession is. And that's just what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, we
for sure.
definitely relate.
Yes. For sure. For sure. I have something for you guys. So, first of all, thank you. I didn't even get to say that for having me. And
absolutely.
I was like, you gotta bring something.
We got gifts, girl.
I am so excited.
Forget the tissue paper. It's been through a couple Uber rides.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Perfect pink.
Let's see what we got here.
It's a bunch of girly.
Oh my goodness.
Boss
now
stuff.
this is definitely needed. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you got? Show what you got.
Let's see. What do you got?
Got this sinus relief pillow. Now this is definitely.
And you can. I think you can warm it or heat or put it in the freezer, something like that.
And a mini journal to write down all those thoughts.
You gotta
make notes. So cute. I love this.
Oh.
I love.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be using this as allergy season.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too, y'all.
Okay. And I think you can either heat it or freeze it. I think it's both. Read what it says.
Yes.
You need hand lotion every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta
protect around the knuckles.
Okay, no ashy knuckles.
And you can't go wrong with the Carmex.
Very true.
For sure.
Hemp seed and rose hip oil. You know, I gotta take a whiff real quick.
So enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Girl. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Enjoy.
It's awesome.
Guest.
Oh, thank you guys.
The essentials.
Yes, you need
Essentials,
it.
yes.
You need it.
Okay,
That's perfect.
Yep.
Well, it seems like you've been on such a journey.
Yeah.
And it seems like you already have wisdom that you've gained from your journey and that you've learned lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody that's coming into the hair braiding game, what are some little bits of advice that you give them? Like just things to look out for, you know?
That's a great question. I think the important part with braiding is to stick with it.
Right.
Because no matter what, as long as you keep going, you're going to see your changes.
Yeah.
So don't give up. Keep going. And to take photographs of your work and make sure that you're just documenting what you're doing. And when you make mistakes, don't just take it out, you know?
Right,
don't take it out. Oh, it didn't work. Take pictures, keep going.
Right.
Sometimes you'll find when you start out, first couple braids looking a little janky, then you get to the top and you might not ever even have noticed the two in the back, but you're getting your rhythm. So don't stop. Don't get discouraged.
Right.
Take pictures and keep going.
Love that. So I have two little girls. One, her hair is literally to the floor at this point.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of learning different braiding techniques and everything. What would you say was easier for you, the knotless braids or doing the feed-in braids?
Knotless.
Knotless
is my favorite. And especially when you're dealing with children, is less tension. I don't know how she is with sitting still. How old are
She's 7 and extremely tender-headed.
Lordy, I got one at home. She's 10. That hair thing, and it makes me look so bad. It's like, what is going on with your hair? But I say knotless because it's less tension. So especially if they have tender scalps, you want to make sure that you're trying to just make the experience as easy as possible. And it's really protective.
Yes.
I prefer that over cornrows. If you notice, you'll take a look at my page. I don't really push cornrows like that. They can be protective when done correctly, don't get me wrong. But I think that it's just a lot more tension than what I'm trying to market.
Gotcha.
Our hair is just different. You know, we have to really we got to put some love. I always say, we got to put love on our hair.
That's true.
I'm going to put some love on your hair. So we have to really, just be tender to it. So I just say knotless.
And you trying to make sure the ladies can keep their edges,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Braids with no edges.
Okay. Looking crazy.
Any style with no edges. You really need them.
Yes.
Edges.
You can't do anything
necessary.
without them. You can't do a bun. You can't
do nothing.
ponytail. Your headband sliding off. It has nothing to grip onto.
Right.
You need your edge.
Okay. Rule number 1.
Take care of those edges for sure. I do have I have a little game.
Oh.
Presents and games?
Little game. We're girlfriends for the context of this.
Yes.
That's just what it's supposed to be.
What's the game, girl?
Yes.
You throwing us on the spot now.
Love it.
Icebreaker questions. So
love it.
What we'll do, who wants to pull the questions? Or I guess you can pass it back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
And truth be told, I don't know my answers to these questions either. So you want to dig in.
So yeah, how do I...
Gonna ask questions. We'll all answer.
Okay.
Oh, I love
And
this.
just take it from there.
All right. Let me shuffle up. I don't know what's in here. My first time seeing this and
Like,
whatnot.
I'm
The
scared.
lottery.
I'm scared.
She said, I'm scared.
Okay, so do I ask? Who do I ask?
Well, you ask it
Oh,
out
the
loud
general.
and then we'll all.
Okay, cool. So the question for this one, y'all, is who's your female inspiration?
You first.
My female inspiration. Okay. So to be quite honest, I've always wanted to have, take part in a platform like this. So I would have to say that Tyra Banks is one of my really strong female influences
Okay.
because she represented like strong feminism, but also intelligence. And she brought, that sexy, classy, but also that boss energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, I have to give it up to her.
Mm-hmm. Good
So
one.
I
I like
just- I love
Tyra
it.
Banks.
Yes.
I guess my female inspiration would be my grandmother. She just had it together. I feel like, what did you do? Especially like old school domesticated women.
yes.
How did you keep the house clean, get dinner on the table, make sure everybody's clothes is ironed and everything else, and we all in bed by 8 o'clock? Like, how does that
on the
how-
dot?
Superwoman.
On the dot.
How? Like,
Yeah.
even with all this technology and everything else, I still 9 o'clock. If I made it to 9, I'm like,
Yes.
and even then, the house is, needed for to cut that out.
Absolutely.
Grandma
So-
had it together.
Yeah,
Boom,
definitely.
boom, boom.
And another thing, she was very professional and poised. And it was during a time where Black women were not even allowed in like corporate America. She
Right.
broke a lot of barriers. So I hope to do the same things. She's
Love
definitely
that. Yeah,
my
you can tell
inspiration.
She really left the impact.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girlfriend.
I love it. I love it.
For real.
Pamela.
Honestly, I would definitely say my mom. When you're growing up, you clash with your mom sometimes and you don't see eye to eye. But as an adult now, I see all those little lessons she was trying to teach me growing up. And it's like, I'm hitting everything on the mark. It's like, you know what? You said this was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's happening. And just handle it with grace. My mom handled everything in life with grace, just
love that.
poised,
Mhm.
very old school, like you said. And, she never let any kind of emotion out. She just did what she had to do. If you can do it and achieve it, she always, instilled that in me. And even like during college, it was like, if this is not what you want to do, don't do it.
Right.
You don't have to please anybody. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Just do you. And here we are.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
Present
it.
day,
I
you
know
and me.
that's right. I know that's
So-
right.
And she's so supportive of everything that I'm doing. So,
I love
Go,
it.
mom.
My mom is too. I have to definitely, I don't want my mom to be like,
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
excuse
Mother's
me?
Day. Happy
yes,
Mother's
Mother's Day. My mom
Happy
and
Mother's
grandma
Day.
helped raise me. So, I wouldn't be the
Yes.
woman I am today without
sure.
either one of them.
For sure.
Actually. So, yeah, personal and professional, those are my inspirations.
Shout out, Marie.
I love
I
it.
don't want nobody's mom to be.
Right.
So you got,
Oh, look at she did
girl, yeah, you got, it's a lottery. You
Dibble
gotta
dabble,
shake
dabble
it
dabble.
You
up.
don't know what question you're going to get.
Right? All right, let's see what we got here. Have you ever been fired from a job? So, no, I have not. I got fired. Basically the scenario that I just gave, like just feeling like we disconnected and I wasn't given, and that was honestly the first time I had ever been like called on a carpet like that. I'm pretty much in leadership and running things, but I just think it was a point where I disconnected.
Yeah.
Oh, and I left out the part.
Uh-oh. What you left?
Cliffhanger.
I left out the part when I had the conversation with my supervisor. I could tell that the conversation was to like punish me, and I kind of felt like, girl, I'm grown. Like,
Right,
that
So,
part.
she made the comment as I was hanging up, like, don't, I was like, have a good day. And she said, you have a better day. I'm like, have a better day. Like, me being so pissed at her is what made me call Nay, because it was like, you ever see Liar, Liar?
Oh, yeah.
So remember,
Yeah.
he was like, I've had better.
Yeah.
I've had better. Like, it was that moment for me, like, have a better day? Have a better day? Like, oh, I'm going to give you a better day. I'm quitting. Like, but I've never been fired. And I will never be fired
Hey,
because
love
I
it.
am my own boss. So who gonna fire me, boo?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
You can't fire yourself. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So for myself, I haven't been fired, but when I was a younger woman, I worked in retail and I had a customer who was really arrogant or whatever. I guess she had shoes on hold and she was like, hey, my shoes have some scratches on them, whatever. I wasn't even the one who placed the shoes on hold.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I'll go see, I'll see what I can do or talk to the manager. So as I was walking away, she said, you think you're too good to help me. And so I kind of, I was younger. I went off on her a little bit. The district manager.
That was the old me.
The old you.
The district manager had a conversation. He's like, Nia, you just got to, just calm down a little bit. It'll be okay. But, I was able to kind of, skate through that one. But
Exactly.
I haven't actually been fired, but close to it.
Okay.
But then I realized, of
stern
course,
warning.
that's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't.
Mm-hmm. I
At all.
understand it.
Right.
And I've never been fired from a job. However, like we talked on last season of the podcast, I did have an employer that basically told me to my face I was too nerdy and was not good enough or good looking enough to pursue my dreams.
Oh.
And in turn, I slammed all the magazines I've been published in on the desk and I said, let's try that again.
That's right, sister.
Let's try that again.
You said what?
We got to let him know.
And
Let the man know.
his boss was actually present and was like, "Oh my God, it's really Pam. She's really in here.
It's Pam. It's
Right.
I don't need to work for you no more. I don't need this. I don't need this negativity in my life." So I left and haven't looked back since. So
I love that. Sometimes I feel like in those scenarios, like it's that Oprah phrase of like, there's no such thing as failure. It's like those moments just push you sometimes. And I think I'm just that kind of learner. I can have all the signs. I can have, but I won't jump until it's like I almost have no choice.
Right.
That's how I am too.
It's like fight or flight, honestly.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Because
I
I'm
know.
really loyal. Whenever I'm into something, I am. But if I'm
Absolutely.
pushed to that limit, then I'll have to,
Yeah, it's
That's how
true.
it is.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Amen.
I like how it seems like we have that in common. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's another thing that we really promote here on this show is, like I said, that female empowerment and just making sure that you do
For
what
sure.
it is you want to do.
Okay.
What it is you want to do. Make sure that your goals are accomplished and everything. And
Absolutely.
forget the man.
For sure.
Period.
Stick it to the man because
Period.
we're female bosses. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So I love it.
Amen.
I'm all here for it.
All right. So the question, have you ever had a fallout with a friend? This is a double question. If so, how did it make you better?
Wow.
Wow.
I already know who you're going to talk
Oh,
about.
This
me.
So I was there for it.
I just like we're girls. We're women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just the womanly way. Like at some point, you're going to have some type of issue.
Like I gotta look at this and just. Whew. Well, okay. So Nia and I have a mutual person that we were involved with, and basically it was a rough time in my life. I was going through some relationship issues, and Nia was, she was good and everything, but it came down to like more, I would say, a jealousy thing.
For sure.
It was basically, I was accused of stealing her from someone else. And I'm like, I'm not her keeper. First of all, we're friends. I'm gonna be friends with whoever I want to be friends with. Like I'm not her keeper. She's not my keeper. However, she didn't see it that way. So we had a difference of opinion. There was a lot of just delusions, just
Of grandeur.
very much so, surfacing, and a lot of red flags and a lot of trauma that was just being thrown
Unnecessary trauma.
at me for no reason.
For no reason.
And back then, I was the type of person like, well, what did I do wrong? And it was always like, I must have done something wrong, not realizing that the other person was at fault in the situation. So after we cut ties, I mean, I haven't really looked back and tried to rekindle anything. There's nothing to rekindle because I did nothing wrong in that sense. So,
How
best
did it
of
make
luck
you
to
better?
her.
Look at us
If you're watching, darling, good luck to
They
you
still
and be
friends.
blessed.
Right.
Still
Be blessed.
Be blessed.
Be blessed. Right.
That's all.
We must
I
be
have
doing
to say.
something right. Huh?
Absolutely.
That's it. So, how about yourself?
Yes, I've had a fallout with a friend. And it was like a betrayal thing. So if you've ever been betrayed, like that's like gut wrenching because the other side of that is like loyalty.
Yes.
So you put them in a place where you just know they would never, ever cross your heart. Hope to, know, that whole thing. And I think how it made me better was it didn't allow me to put anybody in that space any longer. So that I just keep it neutral, keep it family.
Right.
But as far as like putting people in this hierarchy, I think I was putting too much pressure on the fact that they could never disappoint me. And that's a little inhumane. They're going to do what they do.
Yeah, we're all human,
And to also be more aware. I was, before that, I was super naive, like in a way where I could just get swung anyway. And I think that, again, with this journey, I had to learn those lessons because it's up. It's completely up. And it's like, I know that life and God have some great things for me, and I need to have a certain caliber of people around me, but I also need to be aware, so that's how I feel it made me better.
Yeah.
I love
Sometimes
that.
a friend can blindside you, and, to continue with that.
Yeah.
We were starting our journey of working together back then, realizing that we had that same work ethic that friend did not share.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't anything personal. It really was a business matter. And, we knew that she would not have the skill set or the work ethic to keep up. So because of that, we had to part ways. She just didn't get it. And we were on a different trajectory as grown women. We don't have time for all of that. So we made it. That's my bestie. That's my girl right there.
That's right.
I
love that.
To the top.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And it's good to have somebody to share with too. I'm glad y'all get to do it together.
Right.
We knew we'd get here, and like you said, you don't stop.
No,
keep on.
Don't
we will
stop.
prevail.
I think that's really like the one thing I want to make sure is said on this podcast. Like, if you want to know the backdrop, it's not going to be an hour. You gotta come get your hair braided, and then I can just tell you all about it.
I love that.
Yes.
My ultimate goal is to like put out there, like, you cannot give up. Like, you cannot give up. You have to, no matter what comes your way, keep going.
Amen. Amen to that.
Okay.
I think we have time for another question.
Time for
What do you think?
One more?
I think that'd be
One more?
great.
Let's keep it going.
I'm gonna have to do this at my next charcuterie board and wine
am I
night. Absolutely,
Okay.
boo.
I definitely want to know.
Okay. So what advice would you give to a young girl who wants to start her own business?
You first.
Me first. I would tell her that she has to put her grown woman pants on.
Okay.
And she has to be headstrong, and she cannot care what other people think. And if she knows that it has her best interest at heart, you have to go for it by all means.
Amen.
This has to go over this.
Yes, at
Every
all times.
time. The mind over emotion. And you will
Yes.
win. That's what I would have to say, just based off of experience.
Yeah.
You know?
You just cut all over my words. Definitely. I can
feel the
agree
same?
100%. Like, head, not heart.
Yeah.
When I first started braiding, because I love it so much, I would be like, please, not please. Oh, I'll take 30 off, or they try to talk you down or whatever. And that's what I learned in the shop.
Yeah.
You stick to what you stick to.
Right.
You know your worth.
Know
Yeah,
your
exactly.
worth. And don't let them swindle you.
Yeah.
Stand flat-footed. But don't think with your heart, with your business, because it'll mix the two. You have to feed yourself. You want this to go
Absolutely.
somewhere. If it was up to me, everybody would have their hair braided for free. But I can't play Pico.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
At
That's
all.
So you cannot think with your heart.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with me having two little girls, I tell them, you aim for the stars, baby. No matter what gets in your way, if you believe it, you can achieve it. So
For sure.
I'm here for
You
it.
know?
Yes.
Oh, this
That's
is fun.
yes, this is amazing.
Come back tomorrow.
Yes,
We need her back, y'all.
please, yes.
For sure.
And if you can let everybody know once again, like, so we can follow you and all our followers can follow you. Get to know you a bit more.
So I'm Charlotte Combs. That's CharlotCombs_ on Instagram and TikTok.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I love it,
Yes.
Char.
Yes.
Oh, we love your energy.
Yes.
It's a lituation.
Everything.
Say it's up. It's up. It's up. It's lit. It's up.
It's definitely up.
I'm using that one. It's a lituation.
It's a
I'm
lituation.
here for it.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you once again so much.
Anytime.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
y'all for having me. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. We love it. Once again, y'all, another wonderful episode of Dynasty Queens. It's your girl, NiaJ, signing off. And I got my girl,
Pamela Nicole.
And until next time, Dynasty Queens, see ya.